Kenny Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast, it's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys, obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good.
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because it said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then it said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show. Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of Lombardi's Bar. Thank you so much for joining us. Emma in the chat already. Hello, first one there. Thank you for joining us. Hope everyone had a marvelous bye week. I know Todd was absolutely miserable because he refuses to watch any sort of NFL product that doesn't involve the Green Bay Packers. So Todd literally, I'm sure, just maybe he slept all weekend. Personally, I loved the opportunity to watch a lot of NFL football and do some fun fall festive activities with the family. Yes, Todd, Jimmy, Todd, let's get these two guys in here. Yes, Todd, like the festivities. This is the sign, the international sign for festivities.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. You're right. I didn't watch football this weekend. It was on in the background. Had playoff baseball Saturday. Was working on the bus on Sunday. And then playoff baseball again Monday night. So NFL will always be second to playoff baseball unless the Packers are on.
Are the Brewers playing right now, or did I make that up?
No, they just lost. Thanks for bringing that up, though. That was great.
Oh, that's on me. That's on me.
Yep.
Big baseball guy over here.
Yeah.
Big baseball guy with the Brewers sign right behind his head.
My dad bought that for me, and I'm sorry I'm supportive of his hobbies.
Shout out Big Jim.
Shout out Big Jim, dude.
We love Big Jim
At the
around
game
here.
Monday.
There you go. Your Detroit Tigers, though, did win and got themselves closer to an ALCS bid. So, if things don't work out, can hop on the bandwagon.
No.
Is this
especially not after that?
Yeah, the ooh threw him off. If you didn't do that, it would have been questionable. And Todd, you told me this already. Is it 5 games or 7 games right now?
I told you already. So what do you think it is?
I remember you saying
You got a
something about
50-50 shot, Jimmy.
I remember you saying the next 2 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't remember if that included this one right now.
What do you think? You take a guess.
I don't know how many rounds there are. 5.
Oh, look at you. Jimmy knows ball.
Good
I
work.
know baseball, dude.
Good work, buddy.
Absolute ball knower.
I could hit a homer.
All those OBOT segments that teach Jimmy baseball finally paying off.
I was gonna say this is not OBOT, so we're not talking baseball. Unfortunately, we are talking about your Green Bay Packers. Like we said, off the bye week, coming into now their first home game in what feels like almost an entire month at this point. The Bengals coming into Lambeau this Sunday. To break that down, we do have a very special guest joining us here. Bengals writer for the Dayton Daily News, Laurel Pfahler. Welcome, Laurel.
Thanks for having me.
We're happy to have you. We figured this would be the perfect opportunity. The Bengals are not a team that get to come to Lambeau very often. I think it's 2017 last time that they made the trip up there. Personally, I'm from the Cincinnati area, so I have a particular sorry to say this, Laura, I have a particular hatred for the Bengals. So this week is always terrible for me. But we figured this would be the perfect opportunity to bring you on and talk about this team. Laurel, my first question for you, it's very simple. Joe Flacco. Why?
Well,
Why?
It's bad when the Bengals have to go to the Browns to get a quarterback. So, Jake Browning, he he filled in for Joe Burrow very, did decently in 2023 when Burrow hurt his wrist, and he finished the season 4-3, gave them a chance to make the playoffs. They didn't get there, but for some reason, he's just seems to be in his head, and he's throwing these just crazy picks that no one knows who he's even going to. Like, he's just not going to the right spots of the ball, and I think it is mental at this point. He just after Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions, where he had 3 more picks, so he's up to 8 over 15 quarters. They were down 28-3 when he finally did get into a rhythm and made it look better in the fourth quarter. But after that game, he just looked like he was gone. Like, he was really beating himself up. And I think everyone looked at that and were just like, man, they're going to have to make a change. Like, he's just not with it right now. So I think they looked around and they decided, well, Joe Flacco's got an arm and we've got receivers. So they're going with the 40-year-old. And, I think the hope is that, they could just be competitive and maybe they win a few games, and hopefully Joe Burrow comes back in, beginning of December, hopefully would be what they are, looking at with his timeline. And then if they're, even the AFC is terrible right now, so they just have to be somewhat in the mix, and maybe they can make a playoff appearance.
Do you know the reasoning for them depriving the rest of the world of how awesome it would have been to see Jameis Winston in that offense instead? Like,
he also would have had 8 interceptions.
but
that would have been a lot more fun. Jameis Winston's interceptions a lot more fun.
It would have been fun, but he had a season with 30 interceptions. I don't think that's looking much better than Jake Browning.
That's pre-LASIK Jameson. For Jameis, he had LASIK. He didn't know linebackers could drop in coverage. He got that sorted. He's good now.
Well, there were all kinds of names that were being tossed around, and they just decided Joe Flacco gave them the best. I mean, Russell Wilson, I just don't think would have been a good fit for the locker room. They weren't going to be able to afford Kirk Cousins. I mean, that, if Joe Burrow was done for his career, then maybe you do that. But that wasn't going to work out. And then, I think it just ended up that Joe Flacco was pretty much for free. So they made it happen, and we'll see. I mean, maybe it's a benefit for the Bengals that the Packers were preparing for Jake Browning all this past week while they were on their bye. But obviously they've seen Flacco, and that wasn't his best game, but he got a win. So we'll see.
Don't have to bring that up. I think Jamar Chase now has my new favorite stat over Larry Fitzgerald, like more tackles than drops. Of now Jamar Chase has more tackles than touchdowns.
Yes.
It's just not something I would have predicted after, what is it now, 5 games this season. So
3 tackles on 3 interceptions that Jake Browning threw on Sunday. So.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Realistically, what do you expect out of this offense with Flacco there for a couple of days going into this game?
Well, I mean, I think that was the other reason they thought that he could at least step in, because, I mean, he's basically just studying the Bengals offense right now. He'll have to study the Packers, obviously, but he at least had already studied them, so he's got some of that down. But the big concern is the Bengals offensive line is, I would say it's probably worse than the Browns, and he's a statue back there, as he's not going to move. So he's going to have to get the ball out quickly. And I mean, he can just say, F it, Jamar's down there somewhere. And, maybe that works. But I think that the hope is just, he's got that strong arm, and, he does have the weapons. So they could help him out by getting a running game going. That would be nice. But that has been non-existent for the Bengals this year for whatever reason. So, but I think it's going to be, they're going to have to tone some things down, just, dial down the playbook a little bit, because it is a lot to learn in a short period of time. But we'll see. It's really hard to, I mean, it can't be that much worse than what we saw with Jake Browning at this point. So.
Yeah, that's true. I could probably play quarterback at that point.
Baker Mayfield came in and won a game off of like 2 days. So crazier things that happen. And Joe Flacco, I don't know if you know this, he won.
Wasn't
a
that
Super Bowl.
McVay and the Rams?
Yeah.
It was Sean McVay and the Rams. Yeah.
I did see a headline this week. It was like Super Bowl winner Joe Flacco, and I was like, that was like 13 years ago, right?
Hey, Mike McCarthy, Super Bowl winner.
Mike McCarthy, Super Bowl winning head coach.
It's a lifelong. Speaking of coaches, though, Zach Taylor, get negative for a second. I feel like I've heard him potentially getting fired for multiple years, and then things kind of changed a little bit. He always, even the last couple years with Burrow, the Bengals start slow. They turn it on towards the end. Is there any world where now, like Burrow being out, this doesn't look like the most promising season? Like, does he survive the year, or do they use this as maybe we should bring in a new head coach and see if they can ignite this team in a different way?
Well, they stuck with Marvin Lewis way longer than anyone thought they would. So yeah. I think Zach Taylor, it's a little bit different now. I think that Katie Blackburn, Mike Brown's daughter, is a little bit, she's kind of pulling the strings more, and she seems to be quicker to make these decisions than Mike Brown was in their ownership group. So I don't think that he's going to end up fired. I do think I can understand why. Basically, they were awful last year and decided to pin it on the defense, which it was the defense. The defense was horrible. So they made all these changes, defensive coordinator, whole new defensive staff almost. And so you think, well, if it ends up that it wasn't, the defensive coaches and everyone's going to be looking at Zach Taylor. And the fact that they have all these weapons on offense and, he can't get anything out of the offense right now. People are looking at the play calling. He says he's not giving up the play calling. But I just think that for one thing, the players love him. And Joe Burrow is one of the guys that has, stood on the table for him to some extent. So that, he's got a lot of pull there. So I think that helps him. And then just the fact that Joe Burrow got hurt, and some of that is on Joe. Some of it's on, the terrible offensive line, and some of it's just on, the style of play but that's what they wanted. So I don't think that they're going to be, I personally just don't think ownership is he got them to a Super Bowl, 3-4 years ago. So I just don't see it.
Well, if Packer Twitter has a say, Matt LaFleur will be available next year if you guys are interested. So you guys can circle back around that.
Well, people are like, oh, Bill Belichick might be available soon. So.
Yeah, you got to bring Jordan along if you do that, but it might be worth it.
Yeah. Kind of more hopeful now. Is there anything, because I think it's clear to say the Bengals are in somewhat of a not a rebuild, but they're not competing for a championship this year. Like you said, the AFC is terrible. You have a chance to make it to the playoffs. To make it to the playoffs, anything happens. But I don't know. I think it's fair to say the Bengals aren't a top tier team. You've lost Joe Burrow for most of the season. Like you said, the offensive line, even if he comes back, is rough. Is there something in these first 5 games that you can pin your hopes on, Bengals fans can pin their hopes on and say, even if this season becomes a wash, we've got hope for the future?
I will say the defense does look a little better. It's hard to tell because the offense is just putting them in terrible positions, but I do think they have some young players that are, they're coming along. They pretty much are rebuilding their linebacker room. I think the jury is still kind of out on that, but they do like these young players, Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter. So, yeah, I guess that's at least the defense is a little better. I don't know what it's going to look like with Trey Hendrickson in the future. They still don't really have much of a pass rush beyond him. We are starting to see a little bit more out of Joseph Osai, and then Miles Murphy, their first round draft pick from a couple of years ago. He's making small improvements. So that's a glimmer. People thought he was going to be done. So maybe they're starting to see something from him. I would take that as a positive. They have all these weapons on offense locked up. Um, I think it's disappointing that Chase Brown, their running back, hasn't been able to do more. I mean, there was a lot of hype around him. He had a really strong season last year when he was originally splitting carries with Zach Moss, and then Moss hurt his neck, and it ended up being Chase Brown, and he was really explosive and doing some great things, and he just hasn't been able to find any room to work this year. And so it's been really disappointing because everyone thought, oh yeah, like they're going to get a lot more out of Chase Brown now that he's the guy and they know it. And it's just the offensive line. Maybe this, kind of this is the last straw with the offensive line. Like maybe they really invest in that next year. Who knows?
Nice. I was going to, obviously, as you may have figured out at the start of the show, I don't watch a lot of football outside of the Packers, especially when it's nice out.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, give me a few names to watch on that team because everybody knows Chase, Higgins, Hendrickson, but you just named plenty of other guys for me to watch. So we'll go back to Dan's original question that he wrote down for me because I also, along with watching a lot of ball, I do a ton of show prep. So the Packers a couple weeks ago against the Browns, obviously with Myles Garrett there, a dominant pass rusher, they really struggled with that. Coming into this game with Trey Hendrickson, what do the Packers need to do to kind of neutralize him and ultimately win this game? What's kind of the key there for them?
Well, I mean, normally it's been just key on him because they don't have anyone else. So, but they are actually moving him around a lot this year, Trey Hendrickson. Like we've seen him line up, and that's been unique. So, he almost looks like a linebacker more at times. So, I guess I think that's probably still the thing. You got to just keep an eye on Trey. But with Joseph Osai, the other thing I guess that could be helpful to the Bengals is that Shamar Stewart, their first round draft pick from this past year, is back to practicing. I don't know that he'll be available this weekend, but they were hoping that he would. So it's still early. He was limited today, just kind of doing individual stuff, but he's been out the last, 3 games. So if he gets in there, he actually really frees Trey Hendrickson up because he is very disruptive and he might not finish the sacks, but he'll get pressure on the quarterback. And so I think that would be something to key in on is kind of watching for him. But I don't Trey, he's gonna get his sacks. That's just, and he'll get them at the end of the game. The thing that he's really working on is being better about trying to force the ball out when he does get those sacks. That's a big emphasis because they know they need to get turnovers for their offense to get the ball back since they keep losing it. So that would be something to kind of watch.
Do they have a cornerback that's either really bad or really good? Somebody that when they throw the ball at them, I can sound smart and be like, you can't throw it at him, or yeah, that's right. You got to throw it at him.
Bengals fans wish that was the case. They have 2 really talented, I'll say 3 really talented cornerbacks, but that room just has not, they're starting to play better. The one that's been really disappointing is Cam Taylor-Britt. He just, the last couple of years has just gotten worse and worse. And then he's gotten benched, and so he's not even listed as a starter anymore. 2 games ago, he played 5 snaps and he was kind of coming back from a little hamstring injury, but horrible missed tackles. It was Cortland Sutton had 2 20-yard receptions that he should have been able to make plays on and totally missed the tackle. And then it ends up setting up a touchdown. He didn't play after that. And he had not played the whole first quarter. And then this last game, he played, I think, 20 snaps or so. And he looked a little better, but he's the one that, I don't know, he's going to make your receivers look pretty good. Unless he plays. He's really talented. We just can't figure out, where did all that talent go? He's just making these, he just looks lost out there, and then missed tackles. It's been not great. Kevin King disease. What's that?
Kevin King disease.
Yeah, it sounds very familiar to a lot of recent Packers cornerbacks.
Yeah. So do you guys miss Eli Apple or?
No. He was fun in the locker room. Like he was an interesting character, but man, yeah.
He was fun on
Yeah.
Twitter. He was
Yeah.
great there.
His mom was a lot of fun on Twitter.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. We have some of those still on the team. So
Yeah.
team moms that chime in.
We have team dads. and
We can
they're-
introduce you to Christian Watson's dad. That's a trip. That's a trip all on its own. Laurel, appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this with us. I want to get you out on this one question though. I'm hoping it acts as we have a little thing around here called the Lombardi's Bar Bump. When you come on, usually good things transpire for people in the career. We got Joe Thomas into the Hall of Fame. We got Kenny Clark, a new contract 1 year. So
Shanna
big
got
things.
Aaron.
That's right.
Andrews, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Shannon. Yeah. So big things can happen here. I want to ask this question for you. I'm hoping it works in your favor here. Does FC Cincinnati have what it takes to win it all this year?
I think they do. They have a lot of depth on their roster that, I think that's been what's been missing in the playoffs for them the last couple of years. So I think they do have it. I'm a little concerned that their center back, Matt Miazga, is injured right now and might not be available for the playoffs because that's kind of what cost them in 2023. But
you heard it here first. Laurel she's manifesting this for FC Cincinnati, and we're letting the YouTube algorithm gods bump this up. So Laurel, let us know when the championship parade is for FC Cincinnati. We'll come down. There's a great Packers bar in the Cincinnati area that we love to go to. So we'll make the trip down, and we'll see you for the FC Cincinnati parade in like a couple months.
that'd be great because I don't think I'm going to get to go to a Bengals one for a while. So,
Laurel, if people want to find you out on the social media or any of your stuff, where can they find you?
yeah, so it's just my name, Laurel or at Laurel Pfahler on Twitter, and then it's I think the same on Blue Sky, and I'm on Threads. Not very active on Instagram, so don't look for me there. But just I answer questions all the time, so feel free to reach out.
Perfect. Thank you, Laurel. We really appreciate it. Hopefully the rest of the season goes well for you after this week.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on.
Yep. Thank you, Laurel.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Laurel.
Yep. All right, so there we go, guys. We know everything about the Cincinnati Bengals. Did you learn? Did we learn anything? What did we learn?
I had no idea what you were talking about with Cincinnati FC. For some reason, I thought you were talking about college football for a bit until
FC Cincinnati.
Whatever it is. Until Todd put in there, this is worse than Jimmy's UFC talk. I was like, oh, this can't be college football. It has to be even worse than that.
Soccer.
Yeah, it threw me off. I was like, oh, that's a weird way to say Cincinnati University or whatever they're called. But I was so confused. I hope they win. Hope their centered forward, middle field goalie nails it.
There you go, Jimmy. Hey, I mean, look, I like to give the Lombardi's Bar bump out whenever we can. I like to spread the love into the universe.
You fucked it up giving it to soccer. I'm just going to put that there. We had a good thing going, and I think that might have been what killed it.
I disagree.
And you tried to direct it too much of giving it to a specific team and a championship. Like,
yeah.
So now if they don't win the championship, the bump's dead.
Yeah.
Well, that's like saying if Shannon didn't get to interview Aaron Andrews, the Lombardi's Bar.
She came up
They're
with that
best
goal
friends.
and by herself she came up with it. We got Kingsley Kiki 2 sacks in a game. Seeing how his career panned out, that's a fucking miracle. And now you're trying to ruin it by putting this to soccer.
You can't force it, Dan.
I've never been more upset in my life.
I have, with Dan specifically.
Fair enough. Never mind.
R.E. Aaron Rodgers COVID.
I might.
Your
go
take
back
was
and
soft,
watch
and
that.
you know it.
We need to get what we really need is to get like tiny clips of us yelling at each other and just drop them in the episode whenever like we're like moving to the next segment, just like a bam, 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 like spice it in and just like that's our bumper. Is when you and I were just at each other's throats over,
My new Lombardi
over the
bar-
Pat McAfee show interview.
Oh, my new bump is going to be having Dr. Fauci come on here and just play that clip for him and get his take on it. I'm going to manifest that right now.
Okay, well, he's not a real doctor, so calm down.
Jimmy, who would you like to have by around coming out of this bye week?
Yeah, I'm going a little bit reverse psychology. They deserve to pay the tab last, whatever, after the Cowboys game. But just to try to lift their spirits because they have a very tough task coming ahead. Our cornerback room, I'm going to buy you a drink because I think it's going to be a little bit harder this week, even if Joe Flacco's a guy throwing the ball to you. You have Jamar Chase, not just a great catcher, great tackler. You got T. Higgins, who a lot of people wanted on the Packers. So you guys they're going to be hard to guard. I'm going to buy you some beer laced with whatever steroid you want in it. We need a big game out of you. It's just one of these games where everyone, what is that?
Why do you want these guys to take steroids, Jimmy? Increase their chances of getting busted, get suspended.
Like
okay,
Odell
first
Beckham.
of all, based on their performance, no one is going to expect them to be on steroids. They'll just be average starters at that point, outside of Nixon. He's already playing well. But also, I'm pro steroids. Of course, I'm going to give it to him. Anyways, I want them. They need to play better. They got a lot of flack last week. A lot of it was well-deserved.
A lot of Flacco
last week. Well-deserved. You had Nixon putting on Instagram with wide receivers, Xing them out. Weird time to do it. Maybe do it after a win, not a tie where we gave up 40 points. It's just...
Did he X out himself in the fucking end zone, standing there like he's
just
waiting for the bus?
Just doing one of these. This room has to play better. They did well the first 2 weeks when we got pressure. Not even 2 weeks. The first 3 weeks. Like, the Browns game sucked. The defense played well. It's just last week giving up 40 points against a great offense. I'll give them that. Dak is playing at an MVP level in my mind. If their team was better overall in other areas, he'd be right up there. But yeah, it's a room that has to improve a lot this week.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you using your buy around as pay the tab 2.0.
It's not 2.0. I'm giving
1.0.
them a boost of like, I believe in you.
You're trying to drug them and.
I'm sorry. It worked for Dean Lowry. Whatever.
Nothing worked for Dean Lowry.
Did it?
I don't know. That one time I asked Kenny Clark what horse steroid he was on. You messaged me and said, shouldn't have asked that.
Todd, who would you like to have, or who would you like to buy around for?
I'm going to go Christian Watson on this one. Back to practice, as we all predicted. Me first and most confidently said it, but you guys tailed me on that one. So smart. But yeah, good to have him back at practice. Excited. Probably a couple weeks before we see him on the field, but excited that he's getting close.
I don't know. It sounds like he's going to be on the field like maybe next week is the way it fucking sounds.
Be cool.
I don't know. Yeah. I feel like they're going to wait the full 21 days. I don't know.
Probably.
I'd love if he was there, but even if they waited the full 21 days, he got back before Elton Jenkins and Rashawn Gary. And
yeah,
homeboy is explosive as hell. So I wouldn't mind him just waiting all of it.
That's the thing too. Okay. So does the 21? It's 21 days, right? It's not like IR where you have to wait game weeks, right? It's just 21 calendar days, right?
Yeah.
So if he doesn't play this week, you don't play against the Cardinals, and you don't play against who's the other? What is it? Carolina, or what's the next one?
Steelers, and then Carolina.
Biscuits. Maybe
I'd say Steelers probably be the game.
Yeah. Don't put him on the turf in Arizona.
No.
Bring him back for the Steelers game.
You think they do a weird Bakhtiari thing where they play him this week they wouldn't play him this week. I was say wait, maybe
No,
try
Jimmy,
to.
your thought? No.
Yeah, I know. After I thought about it, I was like, nah, that doesn't make sense.
It was nice that you were going to keep going with it, though.
Yeah, I was trying to save it. And I was like, wait, no, there's two. In a
I was
row.
curious. I was curious to see where that. I didn't know where he where.
Well, no,
where
I was
Jimmy
gonna say
going with it.
for some reason we said Carolina. I was like, oh, we played or Cardinals. We play them this week. We don't. We play the Bengals. Never mind. Didn't make sense. That's on me.
Okay. Okay.
I guess goes back to Todd's point where I don't have to say everything that pops in my head.
Good. How many games are the Brewers playing in this round, Jimmy?
I remember 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
You only need to win one more. 1 out of 2.
Yep.
Basic subtraction. 5 minus 3.
There you go. And that's why the Milwaukee public school system is the way that it is.
Everyone.
I'm gonna go off the board here from the team. Makes sense. They didn't play a game this week. I'm gonna buy around for Justice Mosquito over at Acme Packing Company. I thought the last 2 weeks since the Dallas game has put out a lot of really good content, kind of breaking down exactly what the fuck is going on with the special teams unit. He's got a lot of specific insight from his own personal history that I think is really helpful, especially for an idiot like me that doesn't understand anything about special teams. I thought it was really cool, a really cool thing that he had that really, yes, we all hate Rich Bisaccia. I think he should be hard feathered, put on the back of a horse and shipped off to Siberia. But really, a lot of this problem also comes from just the way the Packers run their organization. I thought he did a really good job kind of breaking that down. And yeah, as Pickett said, he'll be on their podcast this week.
What were some of the highlights that he kind of made for that? I read it, but I don't think Jimmy did. So if you could just let him know kind of some of the highlights that were there.
I mean, it was really a lot of stuff about like the fact that they give their starting offensive linemen the snaps off in the field goal coverage when like most teams don't usually do that. Is also kind of pointing out that like the trend of having these project players stick around for longer than they probably should really hampers this team. I think Luke Musgrave is kind of a one that's starting to stick out like a bit of a sore thumb. I mean, and really just that whole idea of like when you draft and develop players and you keep them around, you keep some of these guys around longer. Look at like somebody like Oren Burks, who put up a lot of really great tackles on special teams, but really should have been cut and replaced with somebody that maybe was a step above him. So yeah, that was just a couple of the highlights.
Do you think with like a Luke Musgrave though, it's not so much that like the draft and develop is the problem with him because he does have traits to be a good player?
Oh
but
yeah,
it's
no,
more of like putting him at special teams where blocking is literally his biggest weakness, and we're asking him to do it on very important plays.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's more just that like he's losing his place on the offense. And so if he can't special team, why are you here?
Yeah. One other thing around special teams, it's not a Packer one, but they, the Titans special teams coordinator, what is it? Bone Fassel. They asked him about why, like about field goals getting blocked more and all of that. And he gave a very, detailed answer on his like idea on why. And it was actually a good, I'm not much of a reader, as Todd pointed out. So watching a minute and a half clip was fantastic, but just on the different schemes that the defenses or like the defensive special teams are doing with like the 6 on one side and 6 and 4 that they're doing the split with that and how that's causing a little bit of chaos with the field goals. So it was another interesting one to listen to. There's some things schematic to do, but you're just at a disadvantage because you can't really change that up on field goals. So we'll see what happens. But
I like how you came in there like some like Southern lawyer. Like, I'm not much of a reader, but
not much. I've read a couple things. I just want to throw out there. I've read 5 books this calendar year. So
nerd.
Yeah, I read 5 more than I have in the last 10 years since the last Harry Potter book. So I'm pretty much
what is the last book you read, Jimmy?
The Silent Patient.
Okay. That's vague. That's vague enough for me to believe.
It's
that
actually
you read
really
it.
good. If you want a
No.
murder book with a twist, I did not see that twist come in, and I watch a lot of murder shows. So the librarian, this old sweet man, recommended it, and I read it. He was not wrong. You should read it if you like books.
This has been Jimmy's Book Corner.
Yeah.
Let's go to pay the tab. I'll start off with this one. I'll say I'll go back on the team. Jeff Halfley, kind of the same line about Jimmy with his buy around. Bit of a like preemptive pay the tab for this week. Your defense got kind of called out last time they were out there. Really seemed like the Cowboys, I mean, yes, Dak Prescott played an outstanding game, but really kind of found a way to neutralize your pass rush, which was helping cover up your lack of experience and play at cornerback. You're going up against, statistically, the worst offensive line in the National Football League against a 40-year-old statue playing quarterback. You have 3 first-round draft picks that are lining up and rushing the passer. This needs to be a bloodbath on Sunday. This needs to be sweep the leg, no mercy, Sensei. Get him a body bag. So,
yeah, it has to be a beatdown. It really does.
It really needs to be.
Yeah, there's no other way around it. And I'll get to it with mine, but there's so many things in this offense that have not been working well. Like Jamar Chase, I know last week had his great long touchdown, but this defense has to absolutely demolish them. And it's at home. That adds another, like a lot of the last 2 were away. And so it kind of was like, oh, it died down a little bit. But you're at home now. The fans should be behind you. So there's no excuse right now.
And it's an afternoon game, so people should be nice and liquored up by the time they get into the game. So get loud, throw some batteries, whatever you got to do.
The game's not at noon?
No, it's a 4:25 Eastern kick.
We call that 3:25, Dan. Grow up.
All right.
You got a government meeting you got to go to?
No, I have that tomorrow. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Anyway.
But yeah, I just thought it was a noon game. I got excited.
No.
All right. Fair enough.
Oh, Pickett's coming to town. Okay.
Todd, who would you like to have pay the tab?
Roger Goodell, once again, because...
Once again? Did you do this before?
I did.
Okay. He did do it once before, yes.
Yeah, because once again, I haven't seen any football in weeks, it seems like. I don't know why they keep doing this to the schedule. Mini bye, a couple of games, a bye. I'm stoked that we get football for a while consistently. That's what I like. But a week 5 bye week after a mini bye in the first quarter of the season is awful.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But also, it's on you that you did not watch like the Seahawks.
And not just for me. I mean, for the team, we saw a difference from the first 2 weeks. Then they hit their mini bye, and I think the team, we all agree, kind of looked flat against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Or was that just me that thought they looked flat against Cleveland?
I think there's other things that go into it other than the 10-day break.
Okay.
I'm the only person that called them being flat. I'll just bring that back up.
Yeah, but your reason wasn't the 10-day break. Your reason was
it was implied. It was implied the break was a big cause of it.
Okay, so then you only called that because of me. Got it.
No, fuck off, both of you guys.
Here's the thing. I want to ask Todd. Should this be directed elsewhere? Because is Roger Goodell making the schedule himself, or is this like a Jim Harbaugh Connor Stallions thing where like he's over here and he's got some rogue agents over here that are fucking with the schedule, and Roger Goodell's just putting like a rubber stamp on it?
I am aware that Roger Goodell has nothing to do with the scheduling.
Okay.
It's his fault.
Sure.
I
didn't know if you wanted to.
He's in charge of everything. It's his fault.
Todd doesn't know the names of the schedule makers.
That's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
do we want to track these people down so you can accurately have them pay the tab?
Todd will catch a felony.
No, we're not going to dox whoever the schedule makers are.
John Smith from Indiana. That piece of shit.
I didn't say we put their tax records up there. Jimmy, who do you want to have pay the tab?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean into again, hoping we have players that have to pay the tab bounce back.
Hans Schroeder is the head of the 6-person panel.
I changed my vote. Hans Schroeder is my pay the tab. For me, I'm going.
Goes by Schrader too. One of those weirdos.
What a piece of shit. I'm going with the defensive line. It's just they have to play better. I know against the Cowboys, Parsons had a great game. Rashawn Gary wasn't as active in the backfield as much. Same with LVN. We had some plays. It's going to be a little bit tougher right now without Devontae Wyatt this week, but this offensive line, absolute garbage. Like, this should be just Joe Flacco's retirement game. Honestly, it should just be we destroy him, and then Jake Browning has to come back into the game. It should not be anything close. Like, the defensive line should absolutely demoralize this offensive line. So I'll have them pay the tab. Crappy game. I don't want to say crappy game. We had some nice moments, but nowhere near what we expected against the Cowboys. And this should be a big bounce back game for him. Manifestation, they call this. I'll do one of your little Halloween things for it, or fall
festivities.
I thought you were typing, honestly, the first time you did it, but now I get it. Yeah, I got you.
Festivities. Yeah. Todd is dropping the details of every person involved with the NFL schedule in the
he tempted me with
private chat. That
was
Hans Schroeder, Michael North,
not a real person.
Ani Bose,
these all sound fake.
Howard Katz, Blake Jones, Charlotte Carey, and Lucy Popko. Those
couple
folks,
DEI hires in there, am I right?
Those folks are on my shit list. But also it says it's a 6-person panel, and that's 7 names. So
one of them's not real.
Google's AI is in on it's Roger. It's right. If you look, okay, so if you take one of the letters from each of their names and you bump it forward 2 in the alphabet, it's Roger Goodell.
All right.
I don't think so.
Tom Marvel or Riddle, one of those.
All right. Is that did we cover everybody's? Yes, we got everybody's bar bets or pay the tabs in. Should we jump to our bar bets and put a bow on this thing, gentlemen? Yeah. Your first one up here. I mean, we did this one with Myles Garrett, Parsons or Hendrickson. Who gets more sacks on Sunday? Todd?
Parsons, 5 Bakhtiaris.
Jimmy?
I am going to follow Todd. I'm going to say Parsons, 5 Bakhtiaris. He got that one in overtime against Prescott. He was close a lot of other times. Flacco's not going to get the ball out that quick. He said before the Browns game he wanted to add Flacco to his list. I think he gets it a couple times this game.
I think a lot of this depends on what happens with Zach Tom. Yeah. If Zach Tom can play, they can block. They can handle Trey Hendrickson. I'll go 4 Bakhtiaris Parsons, just because I'm praying for the just like dominant like 3-sack game from Micah Parsons. So I'm manifesting that out there. Who has a longer pass play, the Packers or the Bengals this week? I mean, we're talking about Joe Flacco getting sacked a whole lot, but I mean, you still do have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins out there, and we saw what that cornerback group did against George fucking Pickens and what's his name, Turpin or whatever. So I don't know. What are we feeling, Jimmy?
I'm going to go Bengals 3 Bakhtiaris. I think we're going to have a bullshit play where a corner, just like we did with Pickens, where Valentine slipped and missed the tackle. Chase is way better than Pickens and is a little shifty cat. So I'll say he sneaks one in for a touchdown. So I'll give him I'll go Bengals 3 Bakhtiaris.
Todd?
Bengals 5 Bakhtiaris. We've seen this defense be susceptible to deep plays, so I think that's Jamar Chase is just so good. Here
Iowa Joe, doubting Dan. I'll go opposite. I'll say the Packers have the longest one. I'll say 4 Bakhtiaris. The Packers do. I think if they can block up Trey Hendrickson, give Jordan Love enough time, I think they will big play hunt this at home and find somebody for a huge one. Maybe Matthew Golden gets his first big one that was actually meant for him.
Yeah.
Stole that from Wicks last time out. Finally, the Packers are 14.5-point favorite at Lambeau. Are they going to cover 2+ touchdowns in an NFL game? I mean, I'll start off with this one. I'll be easy enough. I'll say 5 Bakhtiaris. No, I don't think they do. 14.5-point spread is big. The Vegas is begging you to take this. I just like it doesn't matter who's back there. Every time we play Cincinnati, shit gets fucking weird. And I don't know what's going to happen, but something weird is going to happen in this game. It's going to be a weird experience. So I don't think it's going to be a huge runaway blowout. I mean, fuck the Lions last week. They had a huge lead, got it down to 1 score at a certain point against this same Bengals team with Jake Browning. So I'll say that they don't cover. Todd?
5 Bakhtiaris, no. 14.5 points is a lot of points in an NFL game.
Yeah. Has it gone down with our boy Flacco?
No, the line did not move at all when Joe Flacco came in.
I am going to go opposite you guys. I'm going to go 3 Bakhtiaris, yes. I think with just how pissed off this team has been with a loss and then a tie, we're at home now. And even with Flacco over Browning, like this defense fucking sucks. They've given up a lot of points. Yeah, I think we're going to come out with, as LaFleur likes to say, our piss hot. And I think we win by at least 17.
Okay. All right. There you go. Oh, finally, last one. Bo Melton, pass breakup this week.
5 Bakhtiaris, no.
Yeah, 5 Bakhtiaris. No.
I'm going to follow that.
I also agree. Okay. I just wanted, you got to make it official every single time.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for another episode this week. Thank you to everyone in the chat that hung out with us. Thank you again to Laurel Pfahler, beat writer for the Bengals and the Dayton Daily News, for jumping on and talking about that Bengals team with us a little bit more, making us a little bit more educated. You can follow all 3 of us at our socials right there in the little bubbles. You can follow the show at Pack a Day. Oh God, sorry, I was doing my Pack a Day. Read. I had a stroke and slipped that. At Lombardi's Bar, so where you can follow the show. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so on the YouTube channel. I would say so you get notified every time that we go live, but YouTube hates us, apparently. So just know we're going to be back here same time next week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, on the channel. For producer Matt, for Jimmy, for Todd, I'm your bartender Dan saying cheers, and as always, go Pack Go.